Alright, I'm going to show you guys projects I've been working on. I've got the J534 logger and the ECU tuning app. I'm going to show the logger right now because I'm in the Forester right now. But let's see, a little backstory is I actually started reverse engineering the ECU and to the point to where it's now in my 1990 Toyota Celica with 3SFE using the Subaru ECU. So drive-by-wire, all that stuff. And I just needed better software for what I was doing specifically, but all this stuff will work with the Subaru stuff as well. Obviously, I'm in my Forester, it's my test subject, and then for normal things, and then the Celica is the thing that the project that all the stuff's going into. Anyways, I am in my Forester, I'm connected, logging 4 parameters. Here's the 4 parameters. This uses ROM Reader as a base. So here's all the normal parameters. I still need to put a filter on here for things that aren't exactly used with this ECU. And then this are extra, like custom parameters. This is for a different ECU. And then down here is custom for this. And what this is just custom parameters. I've made these for the specific ECU. Go here, edit, and then you can actually change the ID, the name, all the stuff to basically build your own definitions. So choose what type it is, and then when you save this, it saves it to a file. Nothing overwrites the ROM Reader stuff. Let's see, the logger. So custom parameters. So this is where it saves everything at. See, these are the custom parameters. That way you don't mix up ROM Reader with the custom ones, vice versa. But yep, that's where I'm at with this. It logs just simple stuff. Eventually I'm gonna have a copy paste where the tables get pasted into this from the ECU editor. But right now this is my data logger I've been using. Alright, this is the ECU editing software I'm working on. So right now I got a tune pulled up in here already. Base A for the timing. Here's the 3D graph. So this is still being worked on. All this is a work in progress. Arrow keys or navigational, enter, and then the double click to enter. ++5 is going to add 5, and that shows one change there. Undo that change, and then let's add 10 degrees across the board. So enter, and ++10. So it's going to add 10 degrees across here. Anything yellow has been modified. You can see that the graph is updated to that too. There's the original, and then the difference. So it shows all that data. You can interpolate, so select range V, and then it's going to interpolate that data. Same thing for horizontally, and just do H. And then if you do have a thing cell selected, you can copy by C and then paste with P. Yep. So that's basically the editing part of the table. You can edit with the graph itself, which is cool. Not great for big changes, but you can fix things up with it if you want to. Axis editor, instead of editing here, you are going to edit over here, and you can see the axes in a 2D form as well, which is interesting. I don't think any of this has been changed. This may be stock, I'm not sure. Anyways, it's interesting to be able to see it like this. And then the same thing applies for this. You can say if you want to add 0.5 plus 0.5 across the board, so you can do that. And then if 7,000 RPMs isn't enough for you, you can do enter. Let's just do enter 8,000. And then now you got a big spiky here. And then let's interpolate that vertically so it cleans it up a little bit. If you don't need like it to be this low, you can make this like 1,000 and then interpolate that vertically, whatever you want to do. So it's editable, and then your changes are there. Save ROM, and XML is just the coding that's being used right now. I only have one tab populated. All the tabs that are used should be here eventually. Coding, but I think that's basically the table. And you can do the same thing with the 2D, 3D, and then all of your normal stuff here. Import from CSV. So let's just import this dude. It's gonna pull it up. All right, so, and then this is what pulls up. Let's do the graph first. So you pick your, I'll blow that up a little bit so I can see it better. Graph 1, there's the RPM, final fueling, we'll put that on graph 2. You can put it on graph 1 also, and then there's almost unusable data there. So put that on the right side of that graph. Yep, and then let's look at timing A. So we're gonna populate the load here. So engine load, engine speed. Let's make these smaller and shove it back down here. So this is the data from that. So coverage hits where they've all been. So I spent more time there. Let's add data. So let's just do injector duty cycle. So select data preview. And that's now the data from the data log in injector duty. It's more useful to use like feedback knock, so that way you can see where it's used at and stuff like that. And then same thing for like the 2D tables for mass airflow scaling. You can see when I add the math, you'll be able to math the error or use correction, or all that stuff will be usable. The other thing is a hybrid where it actually shows you the data based on weight. That way for like, if it's mass airflow scaling says it needs to be adjusted by so much, and it's a very, very little amount or large amount, but it's only was hit very little versus one that was hit more often. It just gives you an idea of how much that data has been filled in. But right there, that's an experimental thing. And then there's just all the data from the full CSV log, and then basically an overview of the max, min, all that stuff. So you can compare CSVs. So just hit that, compare, and then you can compare it to other ones. You can load in multiple CSVs when you go to hit import CSV, just select a range. Another thing I forgot to show here is you can edit this. So 110, so we're gonna start at 110, and then let's end it at 170. 170, so that trimmed it, and then now I'm going to change it to engine speed for the x-axis. So the x-axis is the, instead of using time, it's speed, engine speed. You can do that for a few different, whatever, pretty much anything on the list, as long as it makes sense. But that's how everything gets logged. So I think that's basically the overview of where I'm at on this. Again, it's a work in progress, and hopefully, keep on working on it and make it better.